like this, 'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out loud goodbye.
This gonna be the type of night they
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Mr. Von. Mr. Von Channel Sweatbox. We back, we live, we active here on the channel. Yes, indeed. It's finally time to talk about Loki, episode 6. For all time. Always. Season 1 finale. Yes, I say season 1 because we have confirmed there is a Loki season 2. And we'll talk about that at the end of this video. So, season 1 finale. Let's get into it. After the end of last week, they were in the void. They defeated Eliath, the monster Eliath, and they were able to get past Eliath to the castle at the end of time. And that's where we picks up. They're in there, and yeah, it was Kang the Conqueror, but it's not Kang the Conqueror. And I love what they did with this moment. Let me explain. So they get into the castle, and we're all waiting for this giant reveal who it's going to be, and then Miss Minutes pops up. Very good jump scare, by the way. And she tells him, hey, he wants to make a deal with you, he wants to talk to you. And then these doors open, and it's Jonathan Majors. And for those of you who are up on your nerd knowledge, and your Marvel knowledge, and your MCU knowledge, you will know that Jonathan Majors has been cast as Kang the Conqueror in the upcoming Ant-Man Quantumania. And if you're also aware of Kang the Conqueror as a comic book villain, you will be also aware that he is the king of time travel, or the lord of whatever, something like that. He's been involved in a lot of time travel stories and multiverse theories and stuff like that. And he's existed. He's basically like immortal. He's existed over thousands of years, over multiple and stuff like. And that is how the MCU's version of Kang apparently is going to come to us. And if they're going to do what I think they're going to do, I'm excited for that, and I'm here for that. Because Jonathan Majors is a very, very good actor. Very good actor. And if he's able to put different iterations on the same character, and we get to see him again and again, let's say he pops up once in Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness, he pops up in Quantumania, he pops up in Thor Love and Thunder or something like that, again and again, and they just have to keep fighting him into different iterations of him because the timelines are now just continuing to split and all these different. I'm here for all of that. I'm here for all of that. So this was a now a lot of people were saying this was nothing but a giant exposition dump of an episode, and it kind of was, but it was necessary and it was well done. And if you're going to get somebody to do an exposition dump like that, you get somebody like Jonathan Majors who can make it entertaining. His delivery of every line as He Who Remains, and this is a key factor, because while this is Kang the Conqueror, this, as the story explained, this is just one version of Kang, and this is a more docile, a more benevolent, a more aged, I guess you can say, a more wiser version of Kang the Conqueror, who's not as crazy as villainous. You know what I'm saying? He's not evil. Unless, I'm not gonna say he wasn't evil, but he's not evil. Yeah, I'll say he wasn't the bad guy. And when Sylvie, spoiler alert, when Sylvie killed him, it unleashed, like he says, it unleashed even worse versions of him. And I believe these worst versions of him are the ones we're going to see over the course of Phase 4 and maybe Phase 5. I don't know how long they play this out, but I'm here for that. I like that. I really do. I can see that being a very, very intriguing storyline that plays out over multiple universes. So I like that. And the way this finale set all of that up, I thought was well done. Now, to get in depth as to actually what really happened in the episode, there wasn't really, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, and there isn't, because most of it is a lot of just setting up of what happened. We didn't get a lot of conclusion for our personal characters. You know what I'm saying? Mobius went back to the TVA, and him and Renslayer kind of had a, I don't know what you would call it, a semi peacemaking standoff, and then she left. She just dips when Mobius decided not to prune her. She just goes off into another portal to go find free will, as she said it. And the TVA didn't get destroyed. It's still very much in existence at the end of this episode. And we'll get to that little twist at the end. Sylvie, we actually don't know what's going to happen between Sylvie and Loki, because the last we saw her, she just killed He Who Remains, and that's the version of Kang that she killed. Because while in the comics the He Who Remains character is a separate character from Kang, they're kind of combining that into one of into another ultimate version of Kang. He was like this, so I get that. I like that. I think that's cool. I think that's kind of killing two birds with one stone. So I like that. But that's what we saw Sylvie. She just killed, you know what I'm saying? Loki, first of all, the entire scene of Loki and Sylvie where they fight because of the disagreement, that line where Sylvie says, why aren't we seeing this? Why are we seeing this differently? Or why aren't we seeing this the same? And he said, because you can't trust and I can't be trusted. I was like, oh, that was a great line. That was a great line. And that just utter look of brokenness and hurt and disgust on Loki's face as the timelines were branching off and he knew what had happened, and he's just sitting there in the TVA alone, wondering what Sylvie had done and all that. I hadn't seen that. That was a genuine look that we haven't seen from Loki. I say the only one other time we had seen that much genuine hurt from Loki was in Thor: The Dark World, where he finds out his mother died, and he has the illusion of him in the cell, but the real version of him is just, I love that. First of all, I think that's one of the best scenes in that movie also too. Tom Hiddleston is such an underrated actor, and his performance of Loki continues to deliver again and again on just different aspects. You know what I'm saying? He can play the comedic, he can play the villainous, he can play the remorseful, the sad. You know what I'm saying? To where he can emote not only can he emote all these different emotions himself, he can make us feel these different emotions for him. So he's just a very good actor, and the way he's portrayed Loki over what's coming up on 10 years now, over 10 years, because he played him in the first Thor movie, and that was in 2010, I think. So 10 years he's been playing Loki, man. It's a really good actor. And so then to wrap up how this finished, after Sylvie has killed He Who Remains, aka Kang, this version of him, Loki, back at the TVA, goes to try to explain what happened to Mobius and B-15, and they don't even know him. Mobius doesn't know him at all. And then that's when you turn and you see that the 3 Timekeeper statues have been replaced by one statue of Kang the Conqueror, the one that we know from the comics. So yeah, this was a really good episode. That's basically everything that happened. I mean, as far as there was a lot of exposition as far as him explaining who he was, how he knew all that, everything, you know what I'm saying, and whether they believed it or not. Well, which I said again, masterfully done by Jonathan Majors. So for at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to give this. I loved it. First of all, let me just say, I was very pleased by this. I was pleased by the difference of the fact that they didn't go for your standard big action set piece for a finale. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like both WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier kind of had that, and I'm glad they didn't kind of do that in this one. So all 3 of these Marvel series have been different, but they've all been very true to Marvel, and they've all done very good things as far as moving the universe forward. So, and again, like I said, I don't know. I think WandaVision is still probably my favorite of the 3 series, but this is still very good. Even though I was disappointed with episode 3, I think, yeah, it was the one. This episode had more ups and downs for me than Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. There was more times where I was like, what is this series doing? I didn't know for sure if they were going to hit or miss, but they stuck the landing very strong. So I'm pleased for that. This is my review of Loki Season 1. Let me know what you guys thought of Loki Season 1 and where you guys are looking forward to what they do with Kang and Loki going forward? Are we gonna see? When's the next time we're gonna see Loki? Is it gonna be Doctor Strange? Is it gonna be Ant-Man, Thor? Let me know what you guys think. Post your comments below, and as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Click those notifications. Check out the travel vlogs, and until next time, you know how we do.
I'ma go
Peace.
to the ends with you. I'ma go